year 2024-2025 for infrastructure. I submit.
Senator Dulo, do you have a supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I have many questions and also interrogating the
Senator Dulo,
response. If you don't mind, I'll go once.
just 2 questions. Supplementary is 2 questions.
Mr. Speaker, this is really a weighty matter. I'll go very fast. 2 minutes will be enough for me if you can allow me.
Okay,
They are all
2
related.
minutes.
They are all related.
2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I'm really disappointed with the response given by the CS because I would have expected him to give me the list of the schools that are listed and the ones that are not. But the response is general. This number of schools and this number of schools. It will be easier for me to follow which school, or even members of public, which ones don't have electricity, which ones don't have water. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, it's really unfair for the ministry to tell us that CDF will be provided, or national government, I mean county government, will provide water, when I know very well that county governments are unable even to provide water to its own citizen. So many schools, they don't have water, and I wish the ministry could actually liaise with the relevant departments and ministries to ensure that the schools have electricity and they have water. Mr. Speaker, again, I wanted to ask, what strategies are there in place to make sure that capitation allocation has been utilized properly? Because if it's properly utilized, that money will help our kids. Again, Mr. Speaker, I would expect the CS to have given us, this is what CDF has done, this is what national government has done. On the fences, there's so much drugs that are there in our counties. Without fence, the issues of discipline will be affected. The issues of drugs will affect also our kids. What is the ministry doing about it? I thank you.
Cabinet Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the first part of providing the particularized list of those schools, we will be able to provide you with that list and send it to you so that it aligns with the information that we've given. Now, we do work with county governments because water and sanitation are developed functions. So we try to work with them to provide some of these facilities to the schools. And we work with the Ministry of Water as well and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to ensure that some of our schools, most of our schools through the last mile program, are actually connected to power. So we are doing all that we can to ensure that all our schools are actually connected to power or solar, and that water is also provided. In terms of the capitation and utilization of it, we do have accounting programs or accounting standards that once the funds are released to schools, they have to do returns, and accounting is done, and the schools, all the money is audited by the Auditor General to confirm that the amount that is given to schools has been utilized properly. Yes, we agree, in the counties we've got a lot of drugs and it is everywhere, and the question of fences as an infrastructure requirement is because of financial and budgetary limitations, and we'll continue looking for resources and working together as a team to ensure that our schools are fenced. Thank you.
Thank you, Cabinet Secretary. We proceed to the next question by Senator. I didn't see any interest for supplementary questions. How many want to ask a supplementary question on this question? So 3 on these questions only. Senator Homa Bay.
Mr. Speaker, as I ask my question, allow me to congratulate the ministry and congratulate the millions of children who are finalizing their KPSEA examinations today. Unfortunately, from the presentation by the minister, it is clear that the ministry seems to be as clueless as the children who are doing exams today. The children doing exams today are not very sure what happens after that examination. Mr. Speaker, I'm a parent of a child who's sitting his final examinations today. And with the confusion that has come up, the CS saying that a sessional paper on CBC is still under development, and yet our children are already sitting exams, Mr. Speaker, that is a sign of serious problems. If we want to destroy a nation, destroy its education system. And the submission by the CS is a confirmation that our future is bleak. The CS says we have teachers without jobs, we have children without teachers, and he wants to export teachers. It's a mess, Mr. Speaker. My question goes to the CS on the infrastructure question from Senator Dulo. The infrastructure fund that is managed by the Ministry of Education, what is the criteria for allocation, and could we get a schedule of distribution of infrastructure funds from the ministry by county for the past 3 years? And Mr. Speaker, on the 30th of June, 2023, the PS in the Ministry of Education, my friend, now the name has just disappeared, my friend Belio, Dr. Belio, was in Mbita, at Mbita National School, a school, Mr. Speaker, that was founded by my late father and the late Tom Boyer. The PS promised on that occasion that he was going to allocate 10 million shillings to improve the infrastructure of Mbita National School, as well as Senator Otieno Kajwang Secondary School. Mr. Speaker, would the CS tell us whether that money was disbursed? And now that we are mourning the prolific Professor Karega Mutai, whether the CS Treasury, the CS Education, could also consider an infrastructural support to Professor Karega Mutai Secondary School, the school that was established by the then PS in Mfangano Island.
Senator Kajwang, you were only supposed to ask one question, and you've asked 3 questions. They've had, but I will ask the CS only to answer one question from Senator Kajwang. Senator Cheptumo. And let's be very brief with the supplementary questions, Senators.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to confirm to the House that the new minister for the new CS for Education was my classmate in the University of Nairobi, Faculty of Law. And I just want to congratulate him for the appointment. And we look forward to you serving our country and our sector of education diligently as you have always been. Mr. Speaker, Baringo County, where I come from, we have 3 constituencies that have had a lot of challenges on matters security. A lot of schools had been closed. And through the government efforts, Mr. Speaker, there has been some peace in that area. And some of the schools are now being reconstructed in Baringo North and in Baringo South and also Tiati. Mr. Speaker, I'm worried that there is no infrastructure fund for 2024-2025. I wanted the CS to confirm. I know he is consulting with the PS, but I wanted the CS to confirm those schools which have been ongoing. You have been doing it with the Defense Ministry and your ministry. The status of those schools in terms of the renovations, and what are you going to do, Bwana CS, if you have no money for that purpose in this financial year? That's my concern. I think there are about 4 schools in Baringo North, about 5 or so in Baringo South, and some in Tiate, and work already had started.
Senator Catherine Muma. And Senator Muma, you have a question, so we're running out of time.
Honorable Speaker, thank you so much. This will be a quick one. Honorable CS, you will agree with me that education is the greatest opportunity to bridge the gaps between the inequalities among regions and persons in Kenya. Now, looking at the answers you've given to Isiolo, Isiolo only has 2 constituencies, and it shatters my mind that we have schools that don't have water. Honorable Speaker, at this stage in life, we should be doing the Owalo thing, getting laptops to schools, because everything is getting digitized. To find that we have regions that don't have water is not acceptable. As CS, I'm requesting that this, you provide a breakdown of all funds and support to the education sector, wherever it is situated, whether it is CDF, whether it is Ministry of Labor, and provide to the Senate by breakdown of counties. That is the only way we can speak to the issue of equity, so that we can together, as you say, start looking at this issue.
Thank you, Senator. We'll take the last question from Commissioner Senator Joyce very quickly.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I have one question related to the PS in charge of higher education. I would want to know the plans of the ministry as regarded to the Bomet University structure that has been there for the last 2 years. I remember I raised this question a year ago, and the same structure is still stuck to it. What are the plans that they have for the Bomet University? Thank you.
Cabinet Secretary, if you could please answer those questions very quickly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thought that Senator Kajwang, after congratulating us, was going to retain that congratulation, but he congratulated us and took it away immediately. But we are not completely clueless. I think we are quite informed on KPSEA, and as I indicated, there is in existence sessional paper number 1 of 2019 on the policy framework for reforming education and framing for sustainable development. And there is another policy that deals with curriculum policies, basic education policy, basic assessment policy. There are quite a number. What I was saying is that we are coalescing all these ones into one particular policy so that we have everything in one particular system so that it is easier to be clear about what we are doing. So we are not completely clueless. I hope you retain that. Congratulations. Thank you. To Senator Cheptumo, we are going to try and raise this issue of infrastructure in the supplementary budget. I think what happened is because of the issues and the challenges we had with the finance bill, there has been a bit of challenge in that space, but when we're doing the next supplementary, which I think is next month, we'll be able to bring this to the attention of Parliament so that we can get budget to be able to undertake these exercises. The 10 million to that was promised has already been disbursed. I'm informed it has already been disbursed, so that's a good thing. Then on the question of Senator Mum on laptops and getting all this fund, I couldn't agree with you more. I think what we're going to do as directed, we are going to try and get all these funds together and then submit a list of how many funds and bursaries are in whatever ministry that deals with education, and that we can submit that to ensure that we are clear and then have that conversation together. There's the question of Bomet University. Mr. Speaker, we had allocated funds in the budget for Bomet University, but when the budget was rationalized this year again because of the finance bill of 2024-2025, it was rationalized to 0. So we shall again try and work backwards and see how much can be allocated for us to be able to complete those. And there are many instances where this has happened. We are going to continue working to ensure that we have at least a number of ongoing capital projects, I think, across 38 universities that amount to 62. And so we are working to ensure that that figure is included in the supplementary budget I submit.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, we're going to try and move very fast. There are 3 questions remaining by Senator Mbugua, Senator Boni Kalwale, and Senator Muma. So we will take the 3 questions, and the CS will reply to the 3 questions, and then once he finishes the replying, we will take the supplementary questions. So Senator Mbugua, please proceed with your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 111. Could the Cabinet Secretary tell us what is the budgetary allocation for capitation to primary special schools and units, special needs education, S&D junior and senior secondary schools in the 2024-2025 financial year? And could the Cabinet Secretary provide a status update on the establishment and implementation of the minimum essential package capitation for special needs schools and units? And B, what is the budgetary allocation for infrastructural development in primary special schools and units